Hello students. So today we are going to discuss the Beer's law, the basic principle behind UV visible spectroscopy. After this lecture, you will be able to define the Beer's law as well as you will also be able to derive the Beer's law equation. Now let's start with the introduction. So as we discussed earlier, that UV visible spectroscopy is a type of absorption spectroscopy, and that mainly involves the measurement of absorbance or transmittance of sample contained in a transparent cell with the path length of b centimeter. So consider a sample cell having a path length of b centimeter, and when we put the UV or visible light to the sample, some amount of light gets absorbed and the remaining light got transmitted to the other side and reaches to the detector. And the absorbed light is generally quantified by the term absorbance, and absorbance is generally considered as a inversely proportional to the transmittance. So it is obvious that when absorption is high, then the transmittance will be low, because when absorption will be high, the light reaching to the detector will be less. So now the absorption of light that is taking place is mainly governed by the Beer's law. And Beer's law states that absorption or absorbance is equal to molar absorptivity into path length into concentration. So absorbance is also written as a log 1 upon T, where T represents the transmittance. This can also be written as a negative log T, or absorbance is also considered as a log ratio of power of incident light, that is striking to the sample, divided by P, that is the power of light transmitted through the sample. So absorbance can be written as a log 1 upon T minus log T, or log P naught upon P, that is equal to E or epsilon into B into C. So A is absorbance, T is transmittance, P naught is the incident radiant power or power of incident light, P is the power of transmitted light, epsilon is the molar absorptivity, which is previously known as a molar extinction coefficient. B is the path length, that is generally represented in centimeters, and C is the concentration in mole per liter. Now let's derive Beer's law. So consider a block of any absorbing medium with a path length of b centimeter, and it contains n number of absorbing particles. Absorbing particles can be any atom, ion, or any molecule. Now, the incident light that is striking from the one side is indicated by P naught. So the P naught is the power of the incident light, and P is the light that is being transmitted from the other side. Now consider a small cross section from this absorbing species and having a path or distance or thickness of the dx. S is the cross sectional area of this particular cross section, and dn is the number of absorbing species in this particular cross section. So n is the number of absorbing species in the whole block, whereas dn is the number of absorbing species in this particular cross section or in this small block. So as we discussed earlier, P naught is the power of incident light, transmitted light power is P, N is the number of absorbing atoms, ions or molecules, path length B, S is the cross section area of this block, dx is the thickness of this block, dn is the number of absorbing particles in this block, and finally ds is the total area of photon absorption or capture surface. Now in this relation, the total ratio of photon capture area to the total area is ds upon s. So as we discussed earlier, ds is the total area of photon absorption surface, whereas S is the total area of this particular block. So this ratio, that is ds upon S, mainly indicates or represents the probability for capture of photon within this particular small section. Now the power of beam that is entering this particular section, Px, is considered as proportional to the number of photons present per unit area, and then dpx is generally the power absorbed in this particular section. So px is the light that is entering and dpx is the light that is being absorbed. So therefore the fraction of light absorbed can be represented by this relation, that is minus dpx upon px. So the negative sign here indicates the decrease in the power, and the absorption is related to the intensity of the light that is entering. So if a light that is entering will be high, then absorption will also be high. So this ratio correlates the total fraction of light that is being absorbed. Now this ratio, the fraction of light absorbed, is considered equal to this photon capture area or probability of photon capture, and that can be shown by equation 1, that is minus dpx upon px divided by, equal to ds upon s. Now this ds is, you can see, is the total area of photon capture surface. So if in this particular block number of photons will be high, so this area will be also high. So means this ds is actually proportional to this dn. So this we can show like here. ds is proportional to the dn. So when we remove the proportionality, so we have to introduce a constant. So ds will is equal to a into dn. So a is the proportionality constant in this case. Now replacing this value of ds into equation 1 that we discussed earlier here, so we get a modified relationship, that is minus dpx upon px is equal to adn upon s. Now when we integrate this equation, so power of light can be from P0 to the P. So minimum power that is entering to the block or initial power will be the P naught, and maximum will be the final will be the P. Similarly, the Dn is the number of species that can be minimum, that can be 0, and maximum can go to the n. So upon integration, this left hand side expression becomes negative ln natural logarithm of P upon P naught equal to the A and S are the constants, so they will come out of the integration, and dn will become n. So this equation becomes minus ln P by P naught is equal to an upon S. Now converting this natural logarithm into log 10, so we have to use 2.303 into log value, and this 2.303 when go to the right hand side goes to the denominator. So this final equation becomes log P upon P naught is equal to a n upon 2.303 into S. Now to remove this negative sign, we have to flip this relationship, and P upon P naught becomes P naught upon P. So final expression will be called as a log P naught upon P equal to a n upon 2.303 upon S into S. Now finally, one more modification is required here, and that is the conversion of this S, that is surface area, into the volume unit. So we can correlate that area is equal to volume upon distance. So volume is in centimeter cube, whereas distance B is in centimeter. So the unit of S will become centimeter square. That is the area unit. So when we replace this S by the value V by B, so this B gets into the numerator and V come in the denominator, and this equation becomes A and B upon 2.303 V. Now this is called as equation 2. Now in this equation, N is the number of particle we can see per unit volume. So this is a like a concentration term, and that is mainly converted to mole per liter. So after conversion of this number to the volume into mole per liter, for this conversion we need a Avogadro number correction. So now the number of mole can be represented as a N divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 particles per mole. So N is the N number of mole is the N upon 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So concentration will become this number of mole divided by volume in liters. So number of mole divided by volume in liters. Number of mole is this N upon 6.022 into 10 to the power 23, whereas volume in liter can be written as a V by 1000. So that become 1000 by V when it flips. So now the concentration, this whole term is considered as a concentration term, and this is generally replaced in this equation 2. So after placing this N by V, replacing this N by V value by the concentration term, so it final equation 2 becomes 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into A into B into C divided by 2.303 into 1000. Now in this equation, as we discussed earlier, that log P naught upon P is considered as absorbance, and it has a three constants. One is this numerical values, and like in the numerator, in the denominator, and there is a one constant, that is A. So after combining all these constants, a collective constant is generally introduced, that is mainly represented by a symbol epsilon, and this epsilon is multiplied by B multiplied by C. So this whole equation then becomes log P naught upon P is equals to epsilon B into C, and that is mainly absorbance. So this is the final Beer's law equation, that absorbance is equal to the molar absorptivity into path length into concentration. Molar absorptivity is a property of the substance actually which is under investigation, and it depends, its value mainly depends upon the material to material. which is being examined. B is the path length, that is constant also, and C is a variable, that is the concentration. So absorbance, according to the Beer's law, is directly proportional to the concentrations. So when concentration is higher, then more number of absorbing particles would be there in solution, and therefore it leads to the higher value of absorbance. So therefore absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration, and this is the basic fundamental application of Beer's law. Now, but so when we plot a relationship like between absorbance and the concentration, as we have discussed that absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration, so it must give a linear relationship. So in most of the cases, the linear relationship is observed, but sometimes linear relationship is generally not observed. So it causes some like deviations from the to the Beer's law, and that deviations we are going to discuss in next class. So thank you.